Thank you. The chair now recognizes Mr. Birnbaum for 5 minutes.
Chairman DeSantis, Ranking Member Lynch, members of the subcommittee, good afternoon, and thank you for the opportunity to testify on the BDS today. For the past 8 years, I've been the CEO of SodaStream International, a company publicly traded on the NASDAQ and headquartered in Israel. SodaStream is the world's leading manufacturer and distributor of home carbonation systems. Our products are available in 45 countries around the world and sold at 70,000 stores, including 13,500 here in the United States. The products are manufactured at 12 facilities around the world, including one in New Jersey. However, our largest facility is in the Mishor Adumim industrial zone of the West Bank. I'm speaking to you today because SodaStream has been a primary target of the BDS and its affiliates since my early days with the company 8 years ago. Here's the story in a nutshell. In all the craziness of the Middle East, in the midst of all the distrust, separation, hate, and violence, there is one factory that proves that things can be different. One factory that's an island of peace where Palestinians and Israeli Jews work side by side, equal wages, equal benefits, and equal opportunity. In total, this factory employs 1,300 people, of whom 400 are Israeli Jews, 400 Israeli Arabs, and 500 are Palestinians from the West Bank. We eat together in the same dining hall and we celebrate each other's festivals. The wages we pay in this factory are according to Israeli law, wages which are 3 to 4 times higher than what our Palestinian workers could earn if they had a job in the PA. We provide a health care package for all our workers and their families that includes physician home visits, prescription drugs, overseas treatments, and even organ transplants, all that at zero copay. More broadly speaking, this factory, which may be the largest private employer in the West Bank, could also very well be the seeds of the budding economy of the future Palestinian state. This factory is, or should I say was, a true gem in many ways. But the BDS thought otherwise. They have been attacking this factory in various campaigns and schemes all over the world, calling for its closure and effectively calling for the termination of its 1,300 employees. The BDS have thrown all possible war crimes at us, accusing us of ethnic cleansing, stealing land, perpetuating the so-called occupation and profiting from it, exploiting our Palestinian workers, acting against international law, representing apartheid. Such a long and horrible list of infractions make it almost futile to defend. BDS tactics include intimidating, harassing, and threatening of our retail partners around the world. BDS activities have been vandalizing our products in stores, stickering them with hate images, throwing product on the floor, stickering, picketing, chaining themselves to the entrances to the stores, conducting violent demonstrations and flash mob events, circulating pamphlets and utilizing social media to spread vile videos on YouTube, mobilizing mainstream media, all to manipulate our retailers to drop our product. To provide the appearance of moral grounding and substantiation of international law, quote unquote, the BDS garnered support from churches, including churches here in the United States, from well-known NGOs, and support from European governments. The BDS are in the business of manipulation, violence, and destruction. But instead of using bullets and bombs, they use vicious lies and half-truths. I'd like to share with you just one example of a grotesque image broadly distributed in Europe and which was also featured at this very moment on a BDS website. On page 13 of my written submission, you will see this image that shows SodaStream product smeared with blood, and it reads in French, SodaStream, a product that kills. One product bought equals one family massacred. Are these not libelous statements that cross a line? A French court ruled in January 2014 that this conduct, specifically this image, is abusive and illegal, and the BDS was issued a cease and desist order and a punitive fine. Last October, we took a business decision to relocate this facility to a much larger facility inside the 1967 international borders of Israel. A business decision. And how did the BDS respond? Well, as expected, they celebrated a big victory. They didn't care that 5,000 Palestinians will lose their sustenance. But what's really revealing is that the attacks are continuing even after we announced our departure from the West Bank. This shows the true agenda of the BDS. To our amazement, we are now being accused of stealing land for our new factory from the adjacent Bedouin town of Rahat within Israel. This is simply preposterous. The reality is that we were invited here. In my written statement, you will see a letter by the mayor of Rahat, Talal El-Karnawi, stating that these claims are not only false, but that our factory is a blessing, bringing economic prosperity to his town. Finally, the story of the 8-year hate campaign against SodaStream really exposes the true face of the BDS. It's evident that the BDS and its affiliates use the Palestinian people as a proxy to advance their political agenda grounded in the hate of Israel. Indeed, the BDS leaders have said many times that their true agenda is not to liberate the West Bank, but rather to end the existence of the Jewish state of Israel. We shall not let that happen. Chairman DeSantis, Ranking Member Lynch, subcommittee members, this concludes my prepared statement. I will be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Now, Mr. Birnbaum, you have this company, you're employing all these Palestinian Arabs, you get targeted by BDS, so then you move operations, but yet they still target you. And so I think that to me is very revealing, and I really appreciate your testimonies. I think that really educates the American people about what is really at the heart of this movement. But is there any doubt in your mind that this BDS movement is targeted beyond just territorial issues, but about the legitimacy of Israel itself?
Mr. Chairman, there's no doubt in my mind at all. And if I had any doubt, it was quenched the moment we announced that we're moving away from our West Bank factory on October 29th, 2014, and the day later there were celebrations and new attacks on SodaStream for supposedly occupying the land of Bedouins within the state of Israel. And you can see those attacks at this very moment on certain BDS websites. And for me, that is evidence that the BDS is not after freeing the supposed occupied West Bank, but the BDS is after the destruction of the state of Israel. They are not going to leave us alone, but we're going to continue doing what we're doing because we're doing the right thing for our employees and for consumers around the world. They will not stop us.
So because of the movement in response to BDS, how many fewer Palestinian Arabs are now employed?
That's a situation that we're discussing right now with the Israeli government. There are, this moment, there are about 400 Palestinians still on our payroll in both of the factories. One is in the process of being closed, the one in the West Bank. We expect that will close around October of this year. And another couple of hundred are already working in the new facility under temporary work permits. If the Israeli government is gracious enough to grant us work permits for these Palestinians, we can continue to employ them. And by the way, each one of them sustained 10 people, 10 dependents on average. So right now we're impacting about 4,000 Palestinian people. I'm hoping the Israeli government will come through, but it's been a struggle and a debate that we've had with them for over 10 months now.
So it's possible that there would be less jobs for Palestinian Arabs.
Absolutely. As it stands right now, Mr. Chairman, the work permits we have for the Israeli employees, for the Palestinian employees that are working in Israel right now are to expire at the end of this month in just a few days.
Mr. Birnbaum, what about in your experience when BDS was targeting SodaStream? Did you notice them also targeting soda companies in Iran or in North Korea or anything like that?
No, never. From my perspective, it appears they're blind to any other infractions in the world, assuming we're an infraction. We are not. But I'll give an important case would be, on the contrary, in the Nordics, the BDS caused the Nordic retailers, all of them, all of the Nordic states, to stop sourcing SodaStream product from the West Bank and sourcing it from the mother of human rights, China. So that's not a problem for the Nordic markets to import product from China, and we had to terminate at that point in time a few hundred Palestinian workers that could have enjoyed employment had we been able to continue to source for the Nordic markets from the West Bank.
So why the double standard? Well, I guess we'll let people draw their own conclusions. I mean, I think it's odd that Israel, with this one country, would have to live under a totally separate standard than any other country in the rest of the world in the eyes of some of these people. And I wonder what motivates that.